Hey everybody, this is JF2576 with a video on painting. I've seen a lot of posts lately, people having issues with painting, whether it's they're painting something they sculpted and the color's not sticking, or they're not getting the right color, or in the case of flecks, they're not flat to the surface, even though they've tried like 20 million different types of ways of doing it, but they're still not getting the effect they want. So I just wanted to do a quick video on showing how I've done most of my sculptures. Um, so what I will start with is usually when I start a sculpt, when I sculpt an object, I'll make it a basic color like this. So when I sculpt and I make uh, or add to a puppet, I try to keep it the same color as the puppet because when you're blending sculpts together, if it's the same color, you'll notice the parts where it meets or the parts where it protrudes out. You notice it better if they're all the same color. If it's a different color, it, it, it kind of throws it off a little bit. So, like, I will start off with a basic color like this, and then I can add other shapes to it. So, like this. And then you can do the blend, stamp mode, this, and then you can do the blend. So for me, when it's the same color, it looks better. Where if I did it as, say, a different color, it doesn't appeal the same way to me. If you, see, it's hard to tell, but when it's the same color, you can definitely see where they meet and the blend that affects it. So I'm just gonna put that there like that. All right. Then when I'm all done with my sculpt, before I add other stuff to it, say this piece I want to be a different color, I can go into spray paint, make sure you scoped into what you're painting. We'll pick, say, green. And what I want to do, the box, make sure the blend is all the way down. And then I can color the whole thing. See, so everything is green now. Then what you could do, there's other effects that I have done on some of my other sculpts, in case anyone was wondering how I did them. So you can either do painting with the spray paint. So I'll just go back to blue. So like that. And then you can go into blend, and you can blend the colors. You don't really notice it too much with these two colors, but there is a blend. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see because it's not a hard end. So that's one way. Another way I've done it is actually just add another shape of a different color. Like I said, it all depends on what you are looking to do. So like on my scorpion, on some aspects I wanted it to be flat, to give it like a flat look, but I wanted it to be a different color. So I would pick the color that I want, say like this, and then I could just change with the blend on it. See, so it gives me the flat effect, but the colors blend. And depending on the two colors that you're blending, it actually causes really nice effects, especially if they overlap a little bit. See, like this. So that's another way of doing it. Now, if for some reason your colors or your spray paints are not sticking to the object, There's two reasons why. All right, let me shut off this grid. One is you went into the menu, the tweak menu, and you played around with the tint, the original color, or the hue cycle. I haven't touched any of it. That's why everything worked. If I was to change this to red, you can see it's already changing the basic color to red, because once you change the tint color, it automatically pushes it to 100. If I was to bring it up to 200, it's solid red. All my colors disappear. And if I was to go into spray paint again, say purple, you don't even see the purple. So let's say paint right there. You don't see anything. If I was to do another shape, purple, look, it comes out as red. And I'll pop that there. See, it's all red. But if I was to go back in and I change it from 200 down to 0, my colors are restored. This is where I painted it. That's the new object. Same thing goes with this. See, changes the color. And the same thing goes with the hue cycle. It changes the color. So that's one way where the colors won't stick. And it's the same thing if you go into coat mode. It does the same thing because this will affect the tint and the hue. So let's see, we'll go with the tint, and if I paint it, it changes it. I can go back in and bring it back to 0. That's all it does. All right. Now, when it comes to flecks, let's pick color. We'll do blue. I like blue. So of course there's all these different shapes that you can use or different styles. So we're going to do a circle. Now there's a stamp, a brush, drawing, and a ruler. Alright, so the stamp is literally just stamps it. That's all it does. It just stamps the picture. Depending on where you're putting it, do I have? Oh, I have the snap on. So yeah, see? So without the snap, I can change how I want it, and then I can just stamp it wherever I want. Alright. The brush, same thing. But as you see, it's not 100% opaque because it's a brush. It's more of like a spray paint can or an airbrush. It's not giving a constant flow. That's why there's like gaps. If you do draw, it seems to be more consistent. If you don't want the gaps, you can just go back over it. Yes. And then there's the ruler, where you press and hold, and then you can move it wherever you want, and it moves it in a straight line. So if I want it, say this long, just let go, and it puts it there. Alright, so now if I want to paint on, say, this object, there's a lot of things that could go wrong depending on how you do it. So in here, there's surface snap, tentacle snap. Of course, we all know about the grid snap and the stay upright. Now, I've seen issues when it's the grid, and I'll show you. So when you're on grid, we'll do the draw. So I'm going to press R2 and move to the right. Now I'm still holding R2. Now if I go up, it doesn't do anything. It kind of keeps it in a straight line. If I want to go up, I actually have to let go of R2, press it again, and then just go up. See? You can't go diagonally. You can't go from right to left and then switch it up to go up. It doesn't do anything. All right. As for stay upright, to be honest with you, I haven't noticed this to do anything. Let me actually get a different shape. Because even if I was to do a square, it doesn't keep the square upright. It still turns. So I don't understand what that is, or why that would take effect into painting. So I usually never use that. Um, then there's the surface snap. This is the one where if you want to paint on here, so as long as my imp is on this square, it will paint flat on this square. And I'm doing this on the DualShock 4, so that way everybody knows it can be done on the DualShock 4. It's not because someone else was using the moves and you were using the DualShock 4. So if I hold R2, I can paint like that. And then if I go out and I move it, you can tell it's flat. It's 100% flat. Okay. Color. Now, if you do the tentacle snap, it's not, see, you can see already, it's not 100% right. Yeah, see, it's hiding part of it. So this can cause issues. But unless you're going for that type of effect, it all depends on what you're doing. So I try to stay with surface snap, and I leave the grid off. The only time I use the grid when I'm painting is when I'm doing the ruler, which I'll show you. Because if I want to go from, say, here to here, at least I know it's in a straight line. I let go, straight. Okay. That's the only time I've actually used the grid, is when I'm using the ruler. So let's shut that off. The mirror works on here. So draw, and you know what, I'm going to use the snap again. So this works really good if you want to do like a circle. So I could just go like this, just a circle. It's flat, 100% flat. And like I said, I haven't messed with any of the settings. So when I go blue again, surface snap, show it the mirror for now. Let's see, like when I do it like this, let's see, remove this. It's flat. When you go in here, everything is still the same. Zero looseness, 20% impasto, 0 ruffle. If you adjust this, this will affect that. Some of these will change. So like, see, like that's still pretty flat. But then if I was to change that, it's not as flat anymore. So like I said, I did this all with the defaults. It also depends on what type of effect you're going for. So yeah, I would suggest if you're going to paint on something, do surface snap. Leave everything else off unless you want to do a mirror or a kaleidoscope. And that will give you your flat objects that looks painted on. Another thing you can do is, say you want to do like an intricate drawing. Make sure the snap's on. Pick the color. Drawing. So then I can do this. Oh, for a little happy face. Then once I'm done, this block that I just drew it on, I can delete it. And then I can take this, shrink it down, and then you can put, you gotta get this right. There you go. And there it is. It's on this product now. Another thing I want to cover. Oops, right. When you're painting, especially with the DualShock 4, um, if you want to do straight lines or a straight drawing, it's all based on the depth of the DualShock 4. So if I just hold R2 and move the DualShock 4 around like this, I'm just moving the DualShock 4. I'm not actually using the analog sticks. And you look, it's flat. I didn't have any snap on, I didn't have the grid on or anything like that. Now if I do it again, but I'm going to use the analog sticks, you can already tell it's not flat anymore because I'm using the analog, because I'm changing the depth of the imp even though it doesn't look it. And that's why it looks like that. But if I move just the controller itself without touching any of the DualShock, like that, it's flat. I mean, it's not on the right angle, but it's flat. It's still flat. I hope that covers pretty much everything. If you have any questions or something I might not have covered that you want more information on, just let me know. But I have seen a lot of people have issues with the flex sticking, being flat, and colors not showing. So that's pretty much covered everything I wanted to explain. I hope that helps everybody. Please send a like and a subscribe if you like what I've been doing. Thank you for watching.